Hey there everybody, it's time once again for another strongest typing for every game video. Last time we got together and did the grass typing, and to the surprise of no one, you guys went with the poison type this time around. The poison typing is incredibly interesting to look at, as through the first two generations, despite there being many poison types, it definitely feels like it was an afterthought when Game Freak was creating new moves. Though, it is what it is. Poison took its turn in the sun when the 6th generation came around, and it was one of the only two typings that could hurt fairies majorly. So sit back and relax, keep an antidote ready, and let's get into this video and see what the best poison type is for every game. We'll start off with red, blue, and yellow taking place in a region just filled with poison types. And almost all of them are horrible in the grand scheme of things. I can't even make an argument for Gengar to be the best because its ghost type moves are physical, and all the poison type moves are absolutely garbage in the first generation. Honestly, upon looking at everything, I have to just go with Venusaur here, as it has good stats, makes good usage of its grass stab, and really just, what would you guys pick? Vileplume? Just because it has acid? The poison type was so seemingly disrespected, and yet treated like a big-time typing in Kanto. It's bizarre. Why create so many Pokemon of this type and have a gym dedicated to it, and yet have essentially no good moves attached to it? I don't really get it, but I'm just gonna go with Venusaur here, as you can get a lot out of it for most of the game, as opposed to something like Nidoking, which will have to wait until the E4 to get Earthquake. Things get a little easier for Gold, Silver, and Crystal, as Crobat becomes a Pokemon in those games, and easily takes over as the best poison type. It's fast and decently strong, with access to Fly and Wing Attack. And trust me, the irony isn't lost on me. The best poison type Pokemon for these games doesn't even have a poison type move. The best you can do is teach Toxic, and you wouldn't even get the TM for that until you're in Kanto. It just still doesn't make sense to use Gengar when its ghost moves are physical, and there's no easy way to grab a Leaf Stone, so that kind of removes Vileplume and Victory Bell from the occasion. Yes, I know you can get a Leaf Stone from an NPC in Crystal if they happen to call you, but that's a lot of nonsense to go about for getting a single item. Crobat is just very strong, and without a poison type move to use, I suppose it is still the best poison Pokemon for those Johto games. It's more of the same with Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, as once again, the answer is Crobat, but this time, it's with some more merit. There really isn't a Pokemon as good as it this time. Maybe Muck, but of greatest importance is the Sludge Bomb TM being available in Dewford after you earn your 5th gym badge. I'm just gonna be blunt, Crobat in Hoenn is probably the best poison type Pokemon up until that point, offering great strength with Sludge Bomb and of course stab flying moves like Aerial Ace and Fly. You can even slap Giga Drain on it, which is a viable bit of coverage for rock types in that gen, despite Crobat having much better physical attack. As for Fire Red and Leaf Green, the answer for that is again Venusaur. Look, it's a very good Pokemon as we all know, but once again, we're faced with almost the same problem as the first generation. None of these poison types do anything well from the poison end of things, and those that do have some moves to do damage aren't as good as Venusaur. If you have a different thought on that though, let me know. So finally, with the 4th generation, we have ourselves the physical special split, and I can now bow down to our Gengar Overlords. It's the best poison type, hands down, and this is in a region with Roserade and Crobat. It's just, how can you reject Gengar's strength and prowess in battle? It's got 130 special attack and 110 speed, a great ability that removes one of its biggest weaknesses, and is super easy to get your hands on in Sinnoh. Shadow Ball is a nice stab move, learned via level up. And Sludge Bomb can be found later in the game, but not too late where it doesn't have any usage at all. Giga Drain and Thunderbolt are possible coverage options on it too. Believe me, this isn't the only time we'll be talking about Gengar in this video as the best poison type. I say that especially because for Heartgold and Soul Silver, it is also the best pick, beating out Crobat once again. You can still get Sludge Bomb's TM in a reasonable area in this go-around, and Gengar is definitely going to put in some sort of work in the region, being able to stand against Morty's team, and you can't forget about some of the coverage in its pool. So when we go into Black and White, obviously things are a little different, as we've got a slew of only new Pokemon to choose from, so no more Gengar or Crobat to turn to. However, lucky for us, there is one poison type in particular that rises up to the challenge of best for the games. It's going to be Scolipede. And even without speed boost for inability, it still packs a powerful punch and pretty solid speed. We're talking base 90 attack and 112 speed to be exact. And when it lunges into battle with moves like Mega Horn and Poison Jab, it leads a pretty decent move pool. If you want to do good bug or poison damage, then Scolipede is your bro here. It far outranks Amoonguss and Garbodor when we look at things from an in-game perspective. So that made it a lot easier to choose Scolipede as its representative as well. When we go to Black and White 2, however, Scolipede has to take a back seat to Crobat. Crobat is faster and can hit just as hard, and its flying type stab offers a lot more than the bug stab of Scolipede. Crobat has access to acrobatics, which we all know is a very great move, and that paired alongside stab and cross poison and its own bug coverage with U-turn, why couldn't you choose this thing over the other options? There's Roserade 2 in the region, which I can definitely see people thinking about. But I personally feel having Crobat for a while is better than needing to wait to get the shiny stone and just have Roserade for the latter part of the game. Plus that flying stab just plays better in the region over Roserade's grass. Let me know what you guys think though in the comments. Maybe you've got some stronger options than I do for these Unova sequels. Alright, so with X and Y, the answer is simple. It's Venusaur and its incredible Mega Evolution. Gengar was definitely an option here as well with its Mega, but I couldn't put it above Venusaur, which can easily be one of the first Megas you have access to, and also just has tremendously balanced stats that leave it able to take hits and totally dish them out. That Thick Fat ability, removing two major weaknesses on Venusaur, is a big plus too, further pushing it home as the Mega of choice. It's bulky, strong, and while it may not have the sort of coverage that Gengar offers, it really does not need it. Venusaur is the best. Alright, now in Oras, we can once again get a bit interesting with a Pokemon that hasn't been picked yet, this time being Roserade. I believe that this time around in Hoenn, it does enough to be looked at as a better option than Crobat. Roserade's Sludge Bomb Giga Drain combo is actually great, and with Dazzling Gleam being learned via TM, that just adds on to its greatness. I know I was touting Crobat a lot earlier for having its flying type make more of a difference in journeys, but not this time honestly. The grass type does a bit more in Hoenn than the flying type does, quite frankly. The shiny stone might be a bit of a later game item, but I won't hold that against Roserade this time around, as its grass moves come in clutch against the final two gyms and several members of the Elite Four. This one is definitely up for debate though. Let me know what you guys think if Crobat is actually superior to Roserade here. So I'm gonna wrap this one up pretty quickly with both sets of Alola games. Guys, it's Gengar again. Gengar gets even more coverage added to its pool in this generation, and you can get it super early on in the Ultra games as well. Probably shortly after you make landfall on the second island, honestly. Gengar's coverage ranges all over with its move pool, from Energy Ball, to Focus Blast, to Thunderbolt, and even to Dazzling Gleam. Guys, hardly anything comes close to outperforming Gengar and Alola. Crobat and Naganadel can try in the Ultra games, but it's no dice. As for Let's Go, it's the same deal. It ends up being better than Nidoking and Venusaur in this one, as Venusaur lacks real coverage, and the physical coverage of Nidoking, this isn't as good as the special coverage of Gengar. So that leaves us with just Sword and Shield. And yeah, that's right. Whether you have the DLC or not, if you want to use the best poison type, you look no further than Gengar. It's arguably at its best in any release here in the 8th generation, as there are TRs with tons of moves on them just waiting to turn your Gengar into an absolute monster on the battlefield. There are some other Pokemon, like Venusaur and Roserade, that I suppose you can take a look at, Nidoking too, but none of them can offer you what Gengar can. There's a reason why it's held in such high regard as one of the best Pokemon of all time, and that's proven in its domination of this video. All hail our mighty poison type overlord. Alright, that will do it for another best type for every game video. You guys wanted poison, and you got it. But now, you'll have to determine the next typing we go for. I can't see the future, so I don't know what you'll pick, but I'm sure it'll be good no matter what. Let me know what it is in the comments below, and I'll be looking out for the answer. So with that said, thank you to everyone for watching the video. Huge thanks to my phenomenal team, and the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all this without them. If you all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too, as it really helps us out. I also do other content on my Twitch, where I stream Genshin Impact, Mystic Zora, where I do Pokemon Let's Plays and other gaming content, and of course MysticSage, where I do all anime content. Right now, I'm focusing on Inuyasha and Yashahime, so if you're interested in that, be sure to check it out. If you'd like to support me even further than that, check out my Patreon. Whether it's a $1 tip to get early thumbnail access, or the $10 tier to get cool perler bead charms and a shout out. There's tons of reasons to join today. These lovely people did, and I thank them all so much for their support. It really means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mr. Gumbrion, and I will see you all next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.